Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a story time. So if you are interested in my delivery story, then stay tuned. So if you guys don't know by now, I actually have a 7-month-old. His name is Steven Jr. I'll enter the picture right here of him. He is just like the most amazing baby on the planet Earth. Probably in the galaxy. He is just a little bundle of joy, and I am so blessed that I have him in my life. So yeah, if you guys been following me for a while now, last year I kind of gave you guys an update of what was going on, and sorry if I sound so like congested. I am coming down or getting over a little cold that I had, which sucks because he has it now, and it's just so. But anyway, so if you guys follow me, I updated you guys of what was going on with my pregnancy journey, and I think I stopped right before I like came back from the hospital. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that video will be linked down below. I was doing good and I was ready to get my planning for my baby shower ready. So I end up having my baby shower, and I'll insert some, pictures. It was so cute. It was a royal theme, and basically everything was good. I had to go back into the hospital because they did think that the baby was trying to come a little bit early. So that was the whole reason why I was in and out of the hospital during my pregnancy, which sucks. But on August 28th, it was a Sunday, me and my man was chilling in in the bed, and we were just laughing about like stupid shit. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about. I think we were talking about like exes and stuff like that, but we were just laughing. I think I laughed a little bit too hard, so I like peed on myself or something. So I was like, okay, let me, go to the bathroom, change. So I get back in bed and we're laughing again, and the same thing happens like 10 minutes later. I'm like, what the hell? Why I keep peeing on myself? I never pee this hard. Like, I never laughed so hard that I peed. So I went to the bathroom and I was like, wait, is this my water that broke? And I'm like, I'm not sure. So I called my mom. And she's like, I think your water broke. She's like, but call your doctor. So before I even called my doctor, like little drips was going down my leg. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely it. So I told Steven, I need you to go get me some breakfast, because once we go to the hospital, I know they're not going to let me eat. I was starving. I didn't eat anything the night before like that. So I knew I wanted to get something to eat. Fast forward, I called my cousin, who's also Steven's, the baby Steven's godmom. And she's like, yeah, girl, call the doctor. Did you call him? I was like, no, because I'm trying to eat first. So I called my doctor. They said, yeah, come down. Let's check. Yada, yada, yada. So I take a shower, and it just keeps coming. Like, very little, not like crazy, like in the movies where it's like, whoosh. But it was like trickling down. I was like, oh my gosh. My bag with stuff was ready in the car, so I didn't have to worry about that. It was just like little miscellaneous stuff, like my makeup, which I never even fucking used, but I put my makeup in, and then we get into the car. When we get to the car, my hospital was about like 10 minutes away from my house. So you have to, like, when you're leaving out of my house or my complex, you have to like take this left, then you go straight, and then there's a hill. So up that hill is the hospital. So when we're going up the hill, we hit like a bump a little bit, like a slight bump. And my water was like, and that was like the movie. I was like, oh my god. Like, it just felt so weird. I never felt anything like that. And all I could do was grab my man's arm and just squeeze. And I was like, I was laughing. And it was just funny to me because it felt weird. I was like, oh my god, it just keeps going. It felt like you were peeing. Like, imagine like you peeing, but like your hole is like this big. Like just water just coming out. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I never felt like this. And I was like, oh my god, my seat is definitely soaked. To the hospital, and I have a dress on. I'm like, oh my god, like my whole butt is wet. And when I get out the car, it was still coming. I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Like, and I'm like, I'm gonna be walking in the hospital with my legs leaking, and they're like, they know, like, you come to the hospital to give birth. So we get to my room, and they automatically put me on the monitors and everything. And they also had to take a test for me just to make sure that my water broke. And I'm like, do you not see my dress? Do you not see my underwears? Them shits is soak. I had to do this test, which was really annoying, and I think I got to the hospital around like 11 o'clock, 11:30, because my water broke. I want to say, I always remember this because my water really broke at like 9:40 something, but I didn't notice it until like 9:50, almost 10 o'clock when I was sitting down, and I was like, oh, it's 9:50 something. Oh, let me just round it up to 10. So that's, I remember that. Hospital, and it's like 11:30, and she puts the monitors on me, and they're like, you're having a little bit of contractions. Do you feel them? I'm like, no. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. She's like, surprised, because they're pretty strong. I was like, oh, I don't feel them. So I was thinking I was going to be one of those women that the contractions weren't going to be hurting so much. I could probably do a natural birth. Lies. Around 3:30, I was laying in bed and I was like texting, or I was on Instagram or something, and it felt like someone kicked me so hard from my stomach down. It was like, boom, boom, like, oh my god. It was like the worst pain. So immediately the first thing I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And then Steven's like, what happened? I was like, oh my god, I felt a contraction. I felt it. And I was so scared. And right there, I was like, oh my god. Contractions, you guys, are no joke. No joke. It was just funny to me. Like, all I could do was laugh, because I was like, damn, these really do hurt. Like, people say, wait like a little bit, try to walk it off, you know. And I was like, oh my god, I don't think I could do it. Every time I was getting them, it felt like they were getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. I was like, oh my god. So first they were probably like 2 minutes apart, like three minutes apart. And I was like, okay, I could do this, I could do this. Then when it became 2 minutes apart, I was like, oh my god, like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And I was like, I can't. Like, I was like, I need that epidural. My nurse was like, just walk around the hall and see if you need the epidural. So I was like, alright. So we walk around the floor, you know, a couple times. And I'm just like in pain. I was like, oh my god, like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I kind of felt myself wanting to cry almost because it hurt so bad. But I didn't cry. I was just like, fuck, these shits hurt. And what made it a little bit worse for me is that, oh my god, you guys, I'm so yellow right now. Like, these lights, I need to figure this out. But anyway, there was a group of people who, I guess, they were all pregnant, the women and their husbands and stuff. They were doing a tour of the floor. And I was their little subject because I was in labor on the floor while they were doing the tour. They were doing the tour and they were like, oh, well, you can see someone's. I was like, really? Really? And they're just like, oh. I'm like, no, bitch. No, it fucking hurts. After that, I was like, okay, I can't take it. So at 4 o'clock, that was like 30 minutes. All that happened in 30 minutes. So I get to my room and I was like, I can't take these pains. Like, it hurts so bad. So imagine waiting longer. So she's like, okay, let me call the guy. I don't know what they're called. I forgot. I'm drawing a blank. But he comes in within like 5 minutes of me coming back. I was like, damn, like, that was fast. I was so scared, like, so scared of getting it. But she's like, you're going to be concentrating on the actual contractions. Just make sure you don't move or you can't walk. And I was like, oh my god. So when he put the epidural in, it didn't hurt like I thought it was going to. I was just a little bit mad that they didn't let Steven stay in the room with me while getting it. They were like, oh, because they don't like to see, we don't like loved ones to see their loved ones in pain. I'm like, I'm fucking giving birth. A child's gonna come out of vagina. He can see me get an epidural. Like, that doesn't make any sense. After that, I felt amazing. Like that. I was just laying down in bed and the nurse would come in and she was like, oh, let's practice some pushing. I was like, okay. So we practice, and then I was like, okay. So my mom then came in. Steven was already there, and then the nurses, they would try to get ready, set, and go. So I want to say around 8 o'clock, my doctor came in. Well, my doctor's partner, because my actual doctor was not on call that night. I met all the people on their staff. So this doctor, I forgot her name, but she was really nice. She came in and she's like, okay, can you push for me? We pushed. She was like, just like that, I want you to do that in another, like, in a couple minutes. I was like, okay. I only pushed for like probably like 5 minutes. And then they said, okay, we want you to rest because we want you to have enough energy. And I'm like, energy? Like, how long am I going to be pushing? It was like, well, some people push for hours. And I'm like, what? 8 o'clock they came in, pushed. And then that was like 5 minutes. And then she left, came back. I pushed for like 10 minutes or so, practicing. Really lightly, not like hard pushes, but like soft. They left, and then they gave me kind of like 45 minutes. And then they came back. I pushed. And they're like, okay, like he's like almost there. So there's like, just rest again. So they rest. Then they came back and it was like 11 o'clock almost. And that's when they were like, okay, you're going to really, really push. So I pushed, and the only pain that I was having was in my stomach area towards my like boobs, because he was really kicking me and it hurt it really bad. So, and I didn't know if I was pushing right, but once it turned, I want to say, like, I pushed like 10 times. I pushed a lot of times. Like, I don't remember how many times, but I pushed a lot. And it was to the point that my neck was hurting more than anything. Steven was trying to hold my neck up, but he was like pushing it. Like, I was like, yo, you gotta stop. Like, stop pushing my neck back so far. So right at the moment, when it was about to happen, like he was about to come out my JJ, Steven was like, oh my God, babe, he has so much hair. And I was like, okay. And the whole time I'm pushing with my eyes closed, so I'm not paying attention to anybody. And they wanted me to look at the mirror, but I was like, nah, I don't want to see that. It's like, oh my God. And he said it like 20 times. Well, in my mind, he said it 20 times. And I was like, okay, babe, I get it. He had a lot of fucking hair. And my mom was just like laughing. And then I just kept pushing and pushing. And then I was doing so good. And then my mom was like, oh my God, mommy, he's almost there. And I heard like her voice crack and cry. And then I started crying. And I was like, I can't do this. I started bawling, and they're like, come on. And all I could open my eyes, and I see the lady in front of my thighs, and she's like, push, mama, push. And I was like, what the fuck? It was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. So it was like, one more big push, and I pushed. And when I opened my eyes, I swear, it was like walking in the gates of heaven. Well, or being born. I don't know. I felt like I was being born with my son. It was nothing but lights when I opened, and then him coming like Simba. My eyes was like tight, so when I opened my eyes, I see nothing but white, and then a baby like coming and like laying on my chest. So I was like, I cried like a fucking bitch. Like, I cried so hard. So he was on my chest, and I was just like, oh my God, my baby, he's here. And I was like, hi, Munchkin. The first thing I said was, hi, Munchkin Man. So I call him Munchkin Man. I don't know why, what made me call him that, like, but I've been calling him that ever since he was born. That was the first thing I said. So, baby Steven Jr. was born August 28th at 11:25 p.m. He weighed 7'11" and was 19.5 inches long. My baby. So ever since then, things been good. He was, it was just such a good day. And it was so weird because when I had to sleep and rest, I didn't want to rest. Like, I was up, and I was like, and surprisingly, like, I wasn't tired from pushing or anything. So I actually really enjoyed my delivery. It went very well, and everybody supported me. Like, they were right there helping and laughing with me when I was laughing. So I felt like I had a really good experience. The only thing I'm a little bit upset is that I wasn't able to record my baby being born, which I see many people do, but I don't know why. I have to really research why my hospital doesn't do it. It's fucking weird. I don't know. So that's my delivery story, you guys. I hope you enjoy that little story time. I want to do a little bit more of these story times, to kind of get to know me, but in like a different way, where it's like a part of a story, and I'm not just like, oh, what's going on in my life right now, you know, I have a child. I can't wait for the next one, you guys. So I'll see you all in my next video, and thumbs up if you like these type of videos, just to get a little bit inside of what's going on with my. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.